my man.
My man, how you doing, brother?
Man, taking it easy.
Man, we got to shout out the show. We don't give it enough props, man. The Detroit Lions season podcast, the podcast, man. We here.
The podcast.
Man, catch us out on Twitter, catch us out on Instagram. We on Spotify live, man. Check us out. It's deep. Hey, we're gonna bring you actually brought this to my attention like you do, because you be digging in the crates. We rock with you tough. Thomas Dimitrov looks like he's the favorite for the GM job so far, man.
Yeah, as of right now, that's what the what's been kind of going around is Dimitrov is the favorite. I guess out of all the guys, all the guys that they've interviewed so far, he's the most favored guy. And they also interviewed, a guy on his staff. They interviewed Pioli, who was on his staff. So looks like they're really trying to get a lot of information from him, information about him.
Because they interviewed Scott Pioli too.
Yeah, they interviewed Scott Pioli, which I mean, I was happy. I know a lot of fans. I knew what it was though. A lot of fans were like, "Why are they interviewing him?" But I knew they were interviewing him. Like, okay, look, we can get the information about Dimitrov, and most likely Dimitrov will, bring him in, with him, if he comes. So it was kind of like a two birds on one stone.
Smart. I would actually love that as a Lion fan, man. If you could bring two execs in, the more execs with NFL minds that's been around, that's experienced, that had success.
Exactly.
I think me and you, we speak about I call it Dimitrov. I call him TD. So for everybody, for all my Atlanta
TD.
Falcon brethren out there, I got that from y'all. They call him TD. If we bring TD in, I'll be really excited. I like a lot of the moves that he made with the Falcons. He just couldn't build a good offensive line, and I think I think the biggest mistake that he had, which is a tough move, is that he should have made Shanahan the head coach after the Super Bowl and let Dan Quinn go. But it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that.
It's hard. It's fans looking in it. It's like, why don't you just do that? It's certain politics and things, and there's certain ways you have to go about things. And I think that's when Shanahan decided, you know what, hey, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna do my thing. And it seemed like Dimitrov kind of was just handicapped. He had no choice but to extend. He had no choice but to extend Matt Ryan, because the guy he had just won MVP of the league.
Right.
What were you going to do? He just wins the MVP of the league, and then you say, oh, well, to heck with this guy.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
He couldn't do that. Right. So.
No, I was just going to say, like,
go
TD, he brought in, he did that trade for Julio. Remember when Julio he came in the league, he jumped up to get Julio.
This is the thing I like about TD. I'm gonna start calling him that too, because I be forgetting his name. But this is the thing I like about TD. He can draft, and I think that's over everything. That's the number one thing I think that Lions. Sometimes you can look at teams and you say, dang, they're really deep at this position. They can trade away these guys. The Lions has never really been in that position to where it's like, oh yeah, we're so deep at this position that we can trade these talented guys away. We've always been like a void in talent. So to have a guy to be able to can draft, and then a guy also, Detroit is not known really for moving up. I mean, not aggressively. We might move up a couple spots in the fourth round or something, but nothing major. And when he moved up to get Julio, it worked out because they ended up going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
He drafted a lot of good players.
He brought in a lot of good players. He's really key on the free agent list. He bring players in. I like him because before he got to Atlanta really never had back-to-back winning seasons. And
yeah, he was definitely a part of their success.
He brought them to a Super Bowl. It wasn't a team that was, on the watch list for the Super Bowls every year. He brought them to a Super Bowl, made them like playoff contenders. I think he can change the culture in Detroit. The only thing is, I hope that he learns from his mistakes and realize at that QB
Yeah.
spot we need to go a different direction as far as quarterback. And we had podcasts before where we said, hey, all the GMs like Matthew Stafford. I think he likes Matthew Stafford too,
Yeah.
but he seemed out of all the GMs, him and Rick Smith seem like the guys that's like, yo, I need me a Mahomes type guy. That's the new NFL.
Yeah. And then that's what I was gonna say. And I know, hopefully after his I don't. Yeah, Rick Smith. He's been interviewed already. So, that's honestly that's my favorite guy, and I'm sure we'll do a podcast on him soon. A segment on him. But I definitely, I definitely I wouldn't mind if TD Tommy Dimitrov got hired as the GM because I know he's going to bring a good staff with him, and he's respected around the league, which is something it's it's a necessity for a Lions GM to be respected around the league. But I'm still kind of pulling towards Rick Smith. I like him. I like Rick Smith a lot because out of a lot of these candidates, he was one of the only guys that wasn't fired. And like we said, hopefully TD he's learned from his mistakes. He sometimes when you pick a bad head coach, we seen with Bob Quinn, that's your undoing. Because Bob Quinn would still be in Detroit. If he hadn't have chose Matt Patricia as his head coach, he probably still would
Right.
be the GM. Um, so yeah, when it's the same thing with Dorsey. Dorsey kind of got fired because he picked the wrong head coach, and sometimes no matter what talent you drafted,
Yeah.
even Martin Mayhew, he drafted a lot of talent, but ultimately he
Yeah.
just couldn't get over the
Yeah,
hump,
and,
and it was
and,
time to
and
go.
you bring out a great point. It's like the relationships between the GM and coach, man. Like that, it's so vital in today's NFL. Like you got to be on the same page. And if you're
Same
not,
page.
whew, that's what I'm saying. Like
That's why New England works so. I mean, I know they going through some rough patches right now, but that's why that building works so smoothly is because everybody in that building knows. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, uh, Belichick has the say so here, so it's what he say goes. Pretty much, and that's why everything goes so smoothly because you already know what it is and what it ain't. We've seen with Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, a lot of times seem like they weren't on the same page, like they weren't on the same agenda.
right, right.
You know,
And I just want to say, man, I got to give some kind of props to the guys over there, man. Spillman, probably Barry, Rob Wood, everybody over there. I like the guys that they're interviewing. Uh, I have to say that the guys that they are interviewing are really good guys, man.
really
Really
good
good guys.
candidates. Yeah, I'm proud. Honestly, they what was it like Friday? No. It was like Wednesday evening. They released. I forgot the guy's name, but they're gonna be interviewing. He's like one of the
Right,
Rams
right.
execs, and he helped kind of build that. He helped kind of build that kind of base of that team that they have now. So, yeah, all the guys they're interviewing are really, really good guys, and I'm glad they didn't just interview two guys and was
Right.
like, okay, we're gonna pick from him. I'm glad they're doing it just to. Of course, we want them to, we want them to make a, I want them to go ahead and make a decision, but at the same time, I want them to get to really, really see what's out there and really can see where the organization can
Right.
go with a good GM.
Right, right. And I'd be ecstatic if we could get two guys. If we could get two of the guys that we interviewed to bring them in and be like GM and co-GM, like
And the assistant GMs, yeah,
I'd be ecstatic.
like they got over in like they got over in Indiana.
Right.
I would love that. That's why I would if Dimitrov is hired and Pioli is hired. He brings Pioli in. It's like that's to me. It's like a GM, and then I have an assistant GM or I have a co GM kind of thing. So I like that. And I also like I like the fact that Chris Spielman is going to be you know I like that his voice. He's just going to be another football minded voice in the building. I
Right.
like that.
And with that said, man, TD, I'm with that, man. the podcast, man. We're gonna come with y'all with a new one in a couple minutes. Man, appreciate you, bro.